Have you and your partner ever discovered a new sexual technique later in life that put a totally new spin on your sex life? We're starting to explore some ideas around my husband's recently confessed fantasy. Even if it never happens, there's a new spark in our intimacy, and I like it. And the honesty we've had with the conversations about this fantasy has been equally important. Just being 100% open with each other and trusting the other person with our deepest desires has been amazing for our relationship. Exactly this. When you actually start talking to each other about fantasies you've been too embarrassed or ashamed to talk about before. It opens some awesome doors and makes your relationship even better. At least with us it did. Do this before you get married. I had a talk with my wife about 5 years after we got married about our deepest sexual fantasies. I went first and told her about everything I wanted to do. She thought some of it was strange or gross, and also said she thought that we should just be enough for each other, that we shouldn't need toys, other people or role playing. She also said I was free to do some things alone if that got me off, but she wouldn't be participating. When it came her turn to tell me, she said that she didn't have any fantasies and that just regular sex with me was all she wanted. Absolutely nothing else. Bottom line is that we have been together 18 years now. I have a friend with benefits who is adventurous to keep me sane, and my wife and I have sex quarterly, if that. She asks me why we don't have sex more, and I give the random work or stress excuse. We have kids, and I stay because of them. Even though I do love my wife, she just doesn't do it for me sexually. My oldest daughter and I are close, and she knows I'm not happy, but she loves us both and is happy I have chosen to stay. So, yeah. Talk about sex deeply before you get married. He/she may change their mind later, but at least you'll have a good start. Wish somebody would have told me this when I was young. Masturbating with each other while talking about our fantasies. So hot. We learn more about each other and find new things to explore together. My boyfriend and I did that. Talking and moaning in each other's ears while masturbating until we both finished. He usually can't help himself and makes me come once or twice as well, then I suck the cum off his dick or sit in his lap so it all goes inside me. Absolutely amazing. The most basic thing. A little Wevibe lipstick vibrator. Put it on her anus during doggy. Clit during cowgirl. Have her hold it in missionary. During oral, stick it inside her while you lick the clit and her on you hold it on your balls. It's a all toy. My wife and I bought a house with a jetted tub too big for either of us to use on our own. Now for the last 2 years we take a bath together at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. With champagne. She gets extensive neck and back rubs the whole time. I also now get laid once or twice a week. It'll let you guess which days that happens if the jets in this tub ever die. I fear our sex life may die with it. We make a conscious effort to try new or different things every few months just to keep it fresh, and not necessarily kink stuff. Even just different places or positions, etc. Stale bedrooms can suck. Clit sucker. Total game changer. We have this DP double penetrator strap-on thing. Highly recommend it. Would you be willing to share where you got it? Just type in double penetrator in eBay. My ex and I discovered we were into sleep sex. She liked the idea of me using her in her sleep however I wanted, recording and then watching it later. It was incredibly hot to me, and I now try it with any woman who is open to it. I also saw a dragon cock sheath which I really want to try. Butt stuff. She bit my earlobe by surprise while we were doing it. Actually it was my first time. And it gave me this shot of adrenaline out of nowhere. Coconut oil. Cheaper than sex lube. Goes the distance, if ya know what I mean. Sap. Coconut oil dissolves condoms, so it's only useful with the whiffaroo. Yeah, my husband and I have always talked openly about sex and our fantasies. Likes, dislikes, limits, things that we would like to try or would not be willing to do, etc. We've been together for 24 years at this point. And even though we have always had an excellent sex life, we are still discovering that we are continuing to discover new things about ourselves and each other. We continue to have mind-blowing sex. We were talking about this the other day after. It really does just boggle our minds how much fun and just how much there is to discover with one person. We're pretty kinky as well, which research suggests that couples who are tend to be happier in general. We started using a big dildo on me since my husband is average sized and I have a harder time coming because of medications. Game changer. He also started talking about his fantasy of a guy with a big dick ducking me while I blow him. Not something we've actually done, but it really gets him going. Or what? Your story gives me the warm fuzzies. Keep it going. Don't let that spark fade ever again. Not exactly later in life, and I guess not really a new spin as much as new appreciation. But with my now boyfriend I've discovered a new, to me, and mutually exciting position where I'm on my back with my pelvis angled up. Hez sitting on his knees butt leaning back. And I can be in control without physically being on top. Hez into it BC I'm technically riding him. And him into it BC I get to have control without getting tired so quickly. Plus his enthusiasm for it turns me on more. Plus he has extra access to my clit and usually takes full advantage of that access and enjoys watching me enjoy myself. IDK maybe it's just that until now I've never really been in a situation where there's a mutual appreciation for seeing one another get off and each of us feeding off each other's enthusiasm. But it's really hot and I'm very much into it. My ex learned that she liked to be spanked until she raw and bleeding. I hate that I got dragged into that ducking mess. All because I thought I was saving our marriage. Took a fair bit of therapy to get me through that. FaceTime. Create your own live porn. Sex toys. Not so much a sexual technique, more divorce and finding someone else. I will second this wholeheartedly. The cannabis strain wedding cake has completely rejuvenated our sex life. A game changer. Clit stuff. I'm in my early 40s and recently discovered slow ducking. No hard or sudden movements. Just slow one, sometimes completely still for long periods of time. Lots of kissing. Lots of small bites. Stroking her back and ass. We discovered it when we were extremely horny and wanted to have sex, but could not make sounds because her kids were in a nearby room and the walls were thin. I have never felt her so wet, and we both came super good after about an hour of this. Safe to say we do it like this every other time now. It's just on another level. Not really later in life, but why were we not doing this before? If you like it, let's do it. I think she thought I'd be threatened by her incorporating toys during intercourse. Maybe she had a partner who had been. Possible. I don't give a duck. Whip out the dildos and plugs and vibrators. If you enjoy something, I enjoy that thing too. Let's party. Me and my wife had issues for years and it all came down to we both thought the other liked it a certain way and we both liked it another way. Neither of liked the soft romantic sex and turns out we both like the rough, hard, duck everywhere on everything, and scream and choke type sex. My husband and I went through the first 3 or 4 years of our marriage on different pages when it came to our sex life. He didn't see the need to fantasize about me or think too much about what he wanted sexually. I, on the other hand, fantasized all the time and wanted to explore everything. We fought constantly. I fell asleep crying more times than I can count, feeling like I wasn't even wanted. Finally, about a year ago, I opened up and spilled my guts to him. All my fantasies. What I really wanted. What I thought about. I told him if he couldn't handle that side of me to let me go, because I knew I would end up resenting him for all of it. For not getting to explore myself sexually. Well, let me just tell you. Good lord, that man has opened up completely. I guess the thought of me finding that with someone else was not an option. We are now finally exploring anal play, buying more toys, and he has come up with new ideas that make me nervous in such a good way. There are endless possibilities. You just need to communicate and be open to them. One of the things that has been a huge turn on in our bedroom has been self-masturbation in front of each other. My wife and I share this account, and so we know what things the other is looking at or reading. Last night my wife made me stand in front of the mirror and jerk off while she asked if I like girls with shaved smooth penises. She found that I've been looking at various TS sites. She said it was okay and made me tell her what I would do while I jerked off if she invited a TS escort into our bed. It was all hot, and then she took out her strap-in. It just got better from there. Not bad for a couple married for 35 years. 2 huge orgasms later I passed out. I had a girl deep throat my dick and then sit there for a bit even though she knew I was coming. I could feel my soul fly out of my body and it felt like my brain was gonna explode. Yep, I was a preemie for years and years. I'd shoot about 30s after entering. It was really disappointing for both me and her. We couldn't really figure it out. And I tried a bunch of things. We did 1 session of tantric sex. Tantric is basically meditative self-control as a couple. Totally fixed me. After just 1 session. Now I can go as long as I want. Basically until I get bored. Even stranger to me, it's not a conscious thought process. It's not like I need to consciously change my mental thought patterns. It was just flipping the bit about being able to control it versus not, and my brain was rewired or something. And I can generally go again within an hour. For a dude in his early 50s, I gather that's pretty unusual. My wife and I divorced soon after. I don't think it was related, but it didn't help. This was literally the best going away present I could have gotten. To of note 1. Sex with one of us on our side / angled that way provides amazing pressure on the dick. 2. Ducking through the climax. Best orgasms ever. Yes, she found a boyfriend. Man, I'm just wanting a cute girl to grab my butt or something. But glad to hear something is working out for y'all. Women have a nerve bundle that can lead to orgasm on their lower back at the base of the spine / top of the ass crack. I know this because apparently every other woman my so has been with was highly aroused by stroking this area, which sounds like part of what you are doing. I do not have this particular nerve bundle of joy, so it has annoyed the duck out of me for the 14 years it took me to break him of that habit. TBF same time frame it took me to unlearn nibbling ears. The other part of your wife's arousal sounds like part of what's discussed in the oral sex video that was done by 2 female porn stars, rubbing the area at the bottom of the vulva / taint, and even pulling it out / backwards to the anus for additional arousal. Awesome find of combos. Why does everything have to be about sex nowadays? Nobody will have sex with me, so all this talk of sex just makes me feel that much worse. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.